Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Today's our turn. Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. Your dial is set correctly to USAPrepares.com, and we're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. And there's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli. John Stadtmiller is joining us. Welcome, John Stadtmiller.
Good morning.
Good morning, John Stadtmiller. So you're in Texas. And let me just, for those new to our broadcast classroom, you've been broadcasting for decades. Can you tell us about how many years that is?
First of all, I want to discover the reason why you start your broadcast laughing. The only other person I've ever known to do this was Dick Clark on the $10,000 pyramid. And people always wondered when he was walking out on stage what he was actually laughing at.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, Dick Clark and I went to the same university. No, we did. It's literally, yes, literally, Dick Clark and I went to the same university.
You're kidding. I just pulled that off the wall, and I didn't know that was thick. I mean, my goodness, that's impressive.
Yeah. So the reason is I am delighted to be broadcasting 5 days a week. I really am. I can't believe that Genesis, you on Republic Broadcasting Network, and Sam Bushman on Liberty News Network, and all of our affiliates throughout the states. By the way, we just got a new affiliate in Utah. It just happened within the last couple of days. And our affiliates in AM and FM satellite and YouTube, all the people who listen and participate in this, I can't believe, that I'm flattered and I'm honored. So
yeah, I have no idea why I'm not on Genesis. I mean,
you want me to talk? You want me to talk to somebody? You want me to talk to somebody?
Well, I kind of had the same problem. You said your producer's name was John. Everybody wants anonymity anymore. I asked the producer this morning, I said, what's your name? He says, I'm the producer.
Well, he told me his name. He told me his name.
He does your show every day. See, I'm just a guest. You see how that is. Yeah.
Well, his name's
At any rate.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I think these guys, when they produce shows, sometimes the shows have some content that might generate a lot of phone calls that aren't directed toward the engineers, that aren't...
No. I'm no longer on the network anymore. They wouldn't be getting those kind of calls. For some reason, Vince, I mean, I've been doing this now for 23 years. Mm-hmm. And the other day, I was just figuring out, people are proud of the fact, this is my 600th show or whatever the case may be. And on the minimum, and I mean the absolute minimum, I've done over 6,000 shows. Mm-hmm. And many others, guesting and doing whatever and making videos and all that other stuff. And it's amazing that I'm still sane. I'm still on this side of the green grass after all these years, because I'm not one of these guys. I'm not a shock jock. I don't go out there and get people unnecessarily ruffled. I present the information, unlike some talk show hosts do, that it's just over the top, and by the end of the broadcast, you feel like you either want to commit Harry Carey or jump in the car and get to the nearest port, take a ship, get out of the country or whatever else. I've never been like that. I'm not a shock jock for the sake of garnering attention. And I've been just slowly plugging away at this for better than 2 decades. Good news is things are starting to come to an attentive head, and I'll explain that later. But as you've noticed, Vince, things are getting so much worse in this country. And this is not by accident. You know, several years ago, I was encouraged, you know, with all that we see going on around us, just all the breakdowns, the infrastructure, the banking failures, societal upheavals, all of this. I was told that, you know what, you need to take the accidental view of history. In other words, these are just events that have happened and spurred other events, and it's confusing, it's confounding, but you need to calm down. A lot of this is not a planned agenda. Now, which leads us to the conspiracy theories. You know, the people that 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago were calling us conspiracy theorists, they're now starting to whisper behind closed doors, it looks like they were right. Mm-hmm. So we've taken a lot of heat over the years for being out there. But people that sit around and listen to the managed news that's owned by 6 corporations in this country, look at it this way. Vince, we're in a protected zone here. The America is exceptional. We've got this exceptionalism going on. We are the biggest, brightest, baddest on the face of the planet. And I guess that's why so many people hate us. They don't admire us anymore. They don't envy us. They just hate us. So necessarily, to protect the psyche of the American people, I mean, this is a very vulnerable stage that we're in. We have to be managed and massaged and told everything is okay. We're here from the government, and we're here to help. Don't worry about a thing. Well, for those, Vince, out there that have had that attitude, and there's something that they've missed here, a big part of what they've missed is you and I, and the listeners to this broadcast. We are the government. We elect representatives to best suit our constitutional republic and how best to do, quote unquote, the business of governing. Well, we don't have statesmen anymore. We have politicians. We have sellouts. We have people that will do or say anything to maintain a status or a job or a seat in Congress or the Senate. It is the corruption level in this country, Vince, has gotten so bad that people are just turning off their regular news channels. And fortunately for us, or unfortunately, depends on how you look at this, more and more people are turning to the alternative. Well, as you, my friend, and I'm going to get you back for this one. You're the one that called me the godfather of alternative media. I would have preferred that you said grandfather, because that suggests, it's maturity and a little age, and you're seasoned, and you've been doing it for... No, you came out and called me the godfather of alternative media. And I will admit that is true, but the reason I did it is because I've seen what the media has turned into in this country. So it's important that networks such as Genesis, Republic Broadcasting, there have been, let me see, about, I would say, 20 to 22 networks, both big and small, that have gone dark in the last 24 months. So there's not very many of them out there left. And I'm not like Genesis. I don't have multi-birds. I don't have, 100 different hosts. We keep this very razor thin so we can support the thing, pay the bills, and we're very incisive on the kind of information that we want to put out. While all that other information is good, when you don't have deep pockets, well, you got to be careful on how you spend your money and your infrastructure. And that message is, we're coming up on our 12th anniversary this June. And it's cost me a little over $3 million to do this. You've been to my house. I'm not in the Taj Mahal, that's for sure. And I've done everything that I possibly can to keep this network going, because we're now coming to a stage that people may not even be aware of us yet, but we're going to be there and we're going to be ready. And we've got the experience, we've got the knowledge, we've been doing this for a very long time. We're not prognosticators and we don't have crystal balls, but we do know the agendas and we do know the eventual end game scenarios. So it's becoming easier and easier for us just to take the little pieces of that puzzle. Oh, here's one. Let me put it there. Okay, the picture is getting clear. It is to our advantage. I don't know about you, though. You would probably be preferring to be riding on your tractor right now, feeding your cows or fixing some fences or doing farm stuff. I myself am a night owl. I prefer to be sleeping right now, but that's okay. If your show was on at 5 in the morning, Vince, I'd come on and I'd do it.
I really appreciate that, John. And what we're talking about is there are a bunch of us in the alternative media who are sharing our experiences and telling it as we see it and releasing the facts as we uncover them for the benefit of those who don't have the time to ferret them out for themselves. But as part of what we do, as part of what you've taught me to do over a couple decades, is to share that information, that we've learned with others so that they can control their own destiny as best as possible. And what we're seeing, John, is the decline of our society because we're outnumbered. We are literally outnumbered by mindless people who are zoned out. And I can give you some proof of that. One of the things I wanted to talk about was this experience with the hospital. And it ties together a lot of my observations. One of my observations is that we in the United States have become careless. We've become inattentive to things around us, our surroundings. We will get behind the wheel of an automobile or a truck, and we will transport ourselves from point A to point B and not necessarily remember the trip. And that's because of things that we're doing in the vehicles, like texting, like talking on the cell phones, while we're operating a piece of machinery at 55, 65, 70 miles an hour that's capable of mowing down lots of people and causing lots of death and destruction. When we come back, I'll talk a little bit about what I've seen recently in that regard. John Stadtmiller's with us. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Concerned about harmful contaminants in your water? Look to ProPure, the most trusted name in gravity water filtration systems. ProPure, with the silver-infused Pro 1 G2.0 filter, removes over 200 contaminants, including VOCs, heavy metals, chloramines, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, fluorides, and radiologicals. We don't just say it, we back it up. The Pro 1 G2.0 filter is NSF 42 certified and independently tested to meet NSF 53 and P231 standards. Pro Pure Water, the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. Purchase with confidence in quality, performance, and customer service. Take advantage of our biggest holiday 25% off sale going on now. Visit your authorized Pro Pure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call call 800-544-3533. 800-544-3533.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
Class, I'm delighted to be broadcasting today with John Stadtmiller, the owner of Republic Broadcasting Network. And John, we were talking about not paying attention, being careless. And here's a story I have to prove it. Thanksgiving Day, we had lunch with the family. Our children were here. My mom, Mrs. Finelli, and I. And we were in the kitchen having a traditional type Thanksgiving lunch. And my mom started shaking and she got sick and she showed some very, very serious symptoms. She became disoriented. She was violently shaking. And I decided that this was so serious. We had one person called Dr. Norman Shealy, who's a personal family friend, medical doctor. And I was on the phone with Mercy's Hospital in Springfield, Missouri, the emergency room, to find out what we needed to do and grease the skids so that we could get into their system as quickly as possible. My mom is a patient of a doctor at Mercy Hospital. I am. My wife is. My mom is. We all are. The entire family. So it's not like we're unknown. And I'll tell you the story about that phone call in a minute. But in terms of being zoned out, not paying attention to things, ultimately, we got in the car, and our son sat in the back seat next to my mom because she was violently throwing up. She was shaking, she was shivering, and she was not able to pay attention to what was going on. She was really, really sick, violently sick. I thought we were going to lose her in the car. Well, you have taken the trip that I took on the roads that I took. We took the back roads to get on Interstate 44, and we exceeded the speed limit. There's no question about it. I had the bright lights on. I had the flashers on. And what I noticed was no one on that 50 to 60 mile drive yielded to us. No one, not one single person. And what I'm saying is the people on the back roads, if they were going to pull out and they saw us coming with lights on and flashers on, they just pulled out in front of us anyway. They didn't give us the benefit of the doubt. They didn't yield. When we got on the interstate, I was exceeding the speed limit, and there was not a lot of traffic on the interstate. And I stayed in the slow lane, and when I approached someone from behind in the slow lane, I would pass into the fast lane and then get back into the slow lane. And what I noticed was, even though I had the lights on, even though I was flashing the lights, the the emergency flashers plus flashing the headlights, high beams, low beams, that kind of thing, to let people know I was coming through. No one even looked as I passed them, as I went from the slow lane to pass them into the fast lane. No one even noticed and looked over to the left to see me pass them, to see what was going on. What I'm saying is they were oblivious. Every single driver was oblivious to me passing them. That means that they are not paying attention. And when we got into Springfield, the same thing. Lights on, flashing lights. No one yielded to us for the entire 50 to 60 mile trip. And it was an emergency. It was literally an emergency. So what I'm saying is we are careless and we are inattentive. Now, I don't know exactly all the things that we're doing behind the wheel, but I look in my rearview mirror frequently. I look left, I look right, I look forward. As the captain of that vehicle, I am paying attention. I am not distracted by games going on. I am not texting. I'm not reading the newspaper. Unlike Caitlin, I am not putting makeup on. I am paying attention because it's my duty and my responsibility. But I'm saying that I don't see everyone doing that. Another proof of that is you've seen our son's truck. It's a big Dodge Cummins turbo diesel. It's loud. It's noisy. It came that way from the factory, loud and noisy. Well, he was in traffic in Springfield, and a guy crashed into the back of him. Did $3,000 worth of damage. Just crashed into the back of him. And he said he was adjusting his glasses. He was adjusting his glasses and crashed into the back of our son. Did $3,000 worth of damage to he had this little van, and he crashed into our 3/4 ton pickup truck and did $3,000 worth of damage to us. It's amazing. Within a month, there are three crashes that I know about with people whom I know. One guy's truck was parked, and a guy crashed into it. That's pretty hard to do. Another one was in the Walmart parking lot waiting for a parking space, and a woman backs into her. These are people I know. I'm saying we are not paying attention. We'll be right back.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the US or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Do you have relatives and friends that are convinced there is no need ever to prepare for any kind of emergency? Are these also folks you buy Christmas presents for? At 30dayfoodsupply.com, we can solve both of these problems at the same time. Go to 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. We can ship your Christmas presents directly to them. Choose from our original $99 30-day food supply, our long-term storage vegan burger mixes, and other oatmeal, soups, porridges, beans, and granolas for everyday use. All products are non-GMO, MSG-free, and vegetarian. Most are gluten, soy, and nut-free. Call 541-229-0010 today. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low, cutting out the middleman by buying directly from their producers in Oregon. Remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com. Call 541-229-0010. 30dayfoodsupply.com. 541-229-0010.
Class John Stadtmiller is with us, and we're talking about carelessness and not paying attention. And I think those are two things that are pretty serious that are everywhere in this country. John, are you seeing the same kinds of things in your neck of the woods in Texas that I'm seeing here in Missouri?
Well, I sold a motorcycle a couple of years ago, and it's probably a good thing that I did, because it's just not distracted drivers. We've got a lot of foreigners now in the country that come from places that, their traffic patterns and their road sociability, let's call it, are not exactly the same. Just for instance, last night I was coming back from the office, just did my program, and I had a little Indian woman that saw me coming down the road, and I had my lights on because obviously it's dark at 6 p.m. Central Time. And I see her coming out of the side street, and she slows down. It looks like she's going to stop. Well, I'm, maybe 100 yards from her, and she decides she's looking right at me, and she pulls out anyhow. And I had to do a little nifty driving to avoid a collision. But yeah, the only time that people really pay attention, as I mentioned, I had a motorcycle. I sold it for the reasons I needed the money for the network, but it's probably a good thing I sold it, because in that very same stretch of road I've had happen a half a dozen times. People just pull right out in front of you, and if you're on a motorcycle, obviously you have less protection. You can stop a little bit quicker, but you get into a situation that you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room, chances are you're going to be hitting something that's going to be unyielding, like a car or a lamppost or a curb or something. So, yeah, I agree with that. People, Vince, I think it's the overall mental health, if I can go that far, of people in this country. They have been haggard, they have been worried, they have been scared, they have been pulled aside in faith and faith in the institutions, faith in government. I mean, it's just all falling apart. And we're really talking here about infrastructure failure. You know, we built a pretty good country in the inside of a couple hundred years from sea to shining sea in this country. And it takes a lot to keep a country like this going. Well, our infrastructure is crumbling. The financial system is on life support. They're still doing the quantitative easing, and everybody's debating how long that's going to go on. Well, they painted themselves in a corner, and they know doggone right well they stop those payments to Wall Street, the economy collapses. So there is a lot of distraction, and here's the key to this. Vince, a lot of people don't understand what's going on inside their own heads, why they're feeling so uncomfortable, why they're feeling so distracted or angry or, any other range of emotions out there. They just don't understand the source of it and how it's affecting them.
I was talking with one of our instructors, Roy Birdsong. And Roy Birdsong owns a store in Springfield, Missouri. It's called Choose Your Own Wireless. He has a cell phone and accessories type store. It's a brick and mortar store. And a lot of our faculty and class members go patronize Roy Birdsong, and it's a hangout. So I called him yesterday, and he was able to he called me back, and we were chatting. And I said, Roy, I'm not asking you about your commerce, and your business, but your peers. What are they saying about Black Friday? Now, there's a reason why I'm talking about this. He said that he happened to be at the Chinese factory outlet, which is also known as Walmart, and he said there was a long line at customer service. And he asked the gal behind the counter, what's up with this long line? What are these people doing? And she said they are returning. They are returning products that they bought. So what has happened is on Black Friday, it appears that a lot of people bought things that they decided that they could get at a lower price online, a lower price someplace else, or that they couldn't afford them, or that they didn't want them. And that's what was happening. So we have been marketed to death by the establishment, by the mainstream media. Buy, hurry, hurry, hurry. And then you see these images on the internet of a pallet of vegetable steamers being released for purchase. And then one woman does a swan dive because she wants them all, or most. And these are vegetable steamers. Something that is nice to have probably, but is it an absolute necessity? No. And how many do you need? Do you have 10 friends that need them? 5 friends that need them? Or do you just want them because of greed that you've been programmed?
Now you've hit it, Vince. No, there's a reason why Madison Avenue is right next to Wall Street. Mm-hmm. We have been raised as a nation of consumers. Consume, consume, consume. And how much stuff do you need? Now, you've recently done something that I did not agree with. You got rid of your cell phone.
Yeah, and you called me and said, hey, I've been trying to call you.
Yeah. Cell phones, I mean, that is something that just about everybody has now, but you decided to get rid of yours. And for a couple of different reasons, and one of which, the trackable and traceability of you've got your cell phone, they know where you are at. I'm kind of a high-profile guy. I would prefer that they know where I'm at, so they don't, cook up a little scheme here that I'm some kind of jihadist or I've been, nuzzling up to the Muslims or something like that. So, that doesn't bother me. I have very little paranoia of people watching me or listening or reading my emails or whatever. Basically, I don't care because we're not the ones that have anything to hide. We're the ones that have come out, and we're asking everybody else to quit hiding. But
there's another reason, John, for me. In addition to the spying and the electromagnetic radiation and the belief that I have that cell phones cause cancer, and the evidence is starting to appear more and more about brain cancer. But there's another reason. in addition to the tracking and the cameras being turned on and off and recording ad infinitum and the audio being recorded ad infinitum. You know, I go out on the tractor, and sometimes I'm by myself. And you hear stories about people who are outspoken who have farming accidents. Tractors run over them. Huh?
Jim Traffickett?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And, you know, I'm very, very careful. And so, I mean, I'm extremely careful on our equipment. I know what it can do. I know what it's capable of doing. I know how dangerous, you know, this equipment can be. So I take all the precautions. I'm very slow and methodical. I do my very, very best not to go out as it's starting to get dark, because even though I know the farm intimately, and I know where some of the little dips are and some of the bumps, and I still don't want to be out there when it's dark and I can't see, you know, to the best of my ability. I don't want to turn the tractor over on me, nor do I want to hurt any animals that have gone to bed. I don't, you know, for the night. I don't want to do that. But taking all that into consideration, I don't want people to know where I am and them have a hunting accident and shoot what they thought was a deer, but no, it was me. Now, I don't want that to happen, because I live in the middle of nowhere, as you know.
By the way,
our road,
yeah, a lot of people don't know this about you, Ben. You are a disgustingly safe driver. You know, I could not imagine being in that car when you were taking your mom to the hospital, because that had to have been absolutely just nerve-grating for you. You have a tendency to drive the speed limit maybe a little bit under. You know, I'm a careful driver too, but I drive at Mach 3 with my hair on fire. But I never put anybody in any position that because I need or I want or I have to get there a little bit faster than you, you know, I don't put them in a position that would endanger them. But as you were relating this story about people not paying attention, you know, you're trying to get to the hospital, you're flashing your brights, they're not moving out of the way. Mm-hmm. I understood, and I was sitting here with a half smile on my face because I knew exactly what you were saying.
Well, John, I don't know if you know this about me, but when I was younger, I used to race cars. So it's not like I haven't gone fast. I've gone very fast.
Now, that's something I did not know about you, Mr. Finelli. I mean, I've known you all these years, and I did not know that. Well,
okay. Next time you're in town, I'll show you one of the cars that I used to race. I have it still. It's a 1968 American Motors brand AMX with a 390 4-barrel 4-speed, and it was pretty darn fast in its day. As a matter of fact, you know, it won a lot of races. It really did, and you know, I don't do that anymore. But I did when I was a lot younger and when I was invincible. But, you know, I certainly used some of those skills when I was traveling down the interstate at pretty high speeds. But, you know, this carelessness thing is everywhere. For example, I wanted to buy some dog food. I wanted to switch brands. We buy a lot of dog food. Easily $1,400 worth a year. That was, you know, the last time we checked how much we spent on just dog food. And we have a number of dogs, and they are our protection animals. It's not like we're running a rescue center. They have jobs here at the farm. And you've met all of our dogs. Well, I think that the dog food has changed, and I think it was making the dogs sick, so we wanted to change brands. I called the same company that I've been buying dog food from for 10 years. It's MFA. It's the Missouri Farmers Association. It's the cooperative right in our little hamlet where we live. It's a couple miles down the road. And I asked them what dog food. I told them I wanted to switch brands, and we special ordered this particular dog food because we want lamb and rice rather than corn in the dog food. And they special ordered for us. They certainly know who we are. We've been there for years and years and years, 10 years. And I said, so what do the breeders of dogs, what do they use? And they said, this particular brand. And I said, okay, what else? What are the, you know, what's number 2 and number 3? Well, they could name some brands. And I said, well, which do you sell the most of? And they couldn't tell me. They couldn't tell me. How is that possible? How is it possible to not pay attention to You know, that we sell more of the green bag or the blue bag or the red bag or the orange bag or the yellow bag. How is it possible not to know these things when you're in the business of selling these things? The reason, in my opinion, is because we've lost the passion. We've lost that, and now what we do is we have a job. We just go to work and we hate our jobs.
Go through the motion.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Longevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now, but the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Longevity for over 17 years, since before it was Longevity, and I've got to say the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Longevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never not once been late in 17 years. Longevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Longevity.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, KD Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KD. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to kdarmor.com. Come and take it.
What looks good under your Christmas tree and tastes even better? Big Berkey water filters. Yes, the gift of clean water. A gift that provides a great foundation for achieving good health in the lives of your loved ones. A Big Berkey water filter gives them protection from bacteria, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, pesticides and herbicides, VOCs and more. And best of all, a Big Berkey water filter is a gift that lasts for many years with no additional investment. And that saves time and money in filter replacements that other water filters require and are even powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. As always, all orders over $50 are shipped free, and GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Order online at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com, spelled Big, B-E-R-K-E-Y, waterfilters.com, or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Gift well this Christmas. Give a Big Berkey water filter.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Class John Stadtmiller is with us, and we're talking about carelessness and inattention. And John, let me share with you what happened when I arrived at the hospital. This is just more lack of concern. So our two boys were in the vehicle. I was behind the wheel. Mrs. Finelli was there. My mom was there, and we arrived at the hospital at the emergency room entrance. And I parked right in front in a parking space for emergency room patients. And there was very little activity there, meaning there weren't many people in the emergency room, and it wasn't chaos, as it typically is. And our son is a pretty big boy, and he was able to get my mom. He started getting her out of the car, and I said, okay, bring her in, please. I will go to the front desk and start the process of getting her seen. And a man came out. He was quite attentive. He had a black uniform on, which is the color of Mercy's uniforms, Mercy Hospital in Springfield, Missouri. And he had a wheelchair. And I saw to it that he was going to get my mom in a wheelchair and get her in with the assistance of our son. And I ran inside and I said, my mom is really, really in serious condition. And she's coming in right now. And I gave my name and my mom's name. And the woman behind the desk just looked at me. And I said, the equivalent of, can we get this started? Because my mom is really sick and she needs to be seen right now. And the woman said, I need to see the patient. I said, she's coming in right now. There she is. She's coming through the door. There she is in the wheelchair. Can we get this started? And she said, I need to see the patient. And I described the symptoms. I described that we had called in advance, and she indicated that she just needed to see the patient before she was going to do anything. This was the equivalent, in my opinion, of going to a motor vehicle a station where you are in line for a license renewal or registration or something like that, and the person behind the counter is just annoyed that you're in their line. Like, why'd you have to get in my line? I'm sick of seeing all you people. And that was the impression that I got.
Well, let me ask you something for clarification here.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking is I want to discuss in the next hour some of the reasons why this stuff is going on. Was she an admitting nurse? Was she triage? Or
well, I don't know. There were two women behind the desk.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have to see these people before anything is done?
Okay. Well, let me go to the point of clarification here because this is important. And that's the question that you have to ask. Was she an admitting nurse? Was she triage? Or was she just somebody working admissions that was not a nurse? Because what's going to happen, you take your mom into that emergency room, it used to be, mind you, that you showed up in an emergency room, somebody was right there. Generally a triage nurse that works that environment. I mean, usually they're type A personality, and they're there. They're all over you like white on rice. That may not be who saw your mother, and they wanted to bring her in, look at her, ask her what insurance you had, so on and so forth. In the meantime, your mother needs care, and she needs it right now.
Right. Well, I don't know. I plan on finding out exactly. There were two women there, and what they said was they needed to see the patient. And I said, am I the only one who's concerned here? And this woman said, yes.
She actually
Let me say that a different way. Am I the only one who's concerned here? And she said, yes. For that, I would fire her and the person next to her. And here's why. When you come in and you see someone in a panic and you see that someone's coming in a wheelchair and it doesn't look like a good situation, That's where that type A personality snaps to attention and takes care of the situation. That is exactly the opposite of what I saw. And there's footage of this. They have footage of the inattentive behavior of their staff. And we'll talk about the color of their uniforms. It's black. What's with the black uniforms? They all wear black. All the nurses, the staff wears a black uniform. It's kind of morbid. What are they trying to say? I guess they're trying to say it was good enough for the SS, so it's good enough for us. We'll talk more about that when we come back. John Stadtmiller is with us, and he is the owner of Republic Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We've had an amazing year here at Supernatural Silver. We've truly enjoyed the fantastic response from thousands of people as they've tried our extraordinary product, and we're thrilled at the life-changing results people have. Our company email is continually full of happy, satisfied customers who thank us for the help they've received from Supernatural Silver. This holiday season, as you think of gifts to give your loved ones, consider giving Supernatural Silver, a gift that can help provide good health and wellness, a gift that can change lives and make a real difference. In a world where we are constantly exposed to dangerous health threats, give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. Give Supernatural Silver. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HOLIDAY2015 for 20% off. And this holiday season, we wish you and yours the blessings of peace and good health from all of us here at supernaturalsilver.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Along with his co-host today, John Stadtmiller, USA Prepares, is hosted by Vin Finelli. Hello, Vin. We're back second hour on this 8th day of December, 2015.
Hey, John. I'm glad you're here.
I'm here.
And thanks for taking us back from the top of the hour news and commercial announcements. So, John, we've talked about the carelessness, the lack of concern about things all around us. It's happening everywhere we go. It's happening in customer service lines. It's happening at hospitals. It's happening with people behind the wheels of vehicles. It's happening in stores with employees who have lost their passion about their jobs, and they've become what they do for 8 hours a day has become a job. And if you ask people at the Chinese factory outlet, are you having a good day? They'll look at their watch more often than not and say, well, I will at 5 o'clock or whenever their shift is over. People really dislike what they're doing because they haven't been empowered. They're not allowed to make decisions, so they become mindless robots. And go ahead.
Well, and there are reasons, I believe, behind this. A lot of people don't know this, Vince. And I think you're correct here with in reference to today's program about No Mercy Hospital and their treatment of patients, how they're conducting their business. A lot of people don't know this, but the third, with the layoffs and everything else that's going on, banks, financial institutions, number one, number two, but the third right behind that is the healthcare industry and hospitals. And this year alone, the healthcare sector has announced 41,085 layoffs. And as I said, that's the third most behind financial and industrial companies. And it's a lot worse than people might imagine. Take, for instance, Indiana University Health. They laid off about 900 workers as a part to trim its budget. They're cutting $1 billion over the next 5 years. Vanderbilt plans to eliminate 1,000 jobs by the end of the year. They're trying to shave their operating costs by 8%. Cleveland Clinic is offering buyouts to 3,000 employees. It's shaving its annual operating costs by $330 million. And here's the really strange thing about this, is because now you have personnel that are shifting job duties, where you used to have that triage nurse that, one person was asking questions, what's your medical insurance, what's your name, your address, and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. But you're also seen by a triage nurse, somebody that was going to immediately respond to the situation, assess their condition. How critical is it? Do we have to get them into the ICU? What do we need to do? It was an immediate attack, if you will, with the medical experience. But they may not have that anymore. So these hospitals, which used to be, and a lot of folks don't think of the healthcare industry or hospitals in general as being a business. There are many reasons why hospitals operate the way they do, but they're even losing their funding in Medicaid and Medicare payments through sequestration from the government. A lot of hospitals have 5% or more. So their Medicare payments are slowing down. Their cash flow is slowing down. Like any other business, they're trying to maintain profitability. I can remember years ago when there weren't any insurance companies, Vince, no insurance companies. So when you showed up at the hospital, whether it's an emergency or just wanted to check in from a prior appointment, it was what was your name, not let me see your insurance card. What has happened in the healthcare industry, once insurance companies got involved, and that's a corporation, that's a company like anybody else, what's their bottom line? You got a little bean counter sitting around calculating how much profit did we make. Well, here comes the problem. Years ago, I used to work for General Motors, and we had Blue Cross Blue Shield. I blew out a knee at work, anterior cruciate ligament. Those prices back in the early 80s, just for that operation, was well over $30,000. And we're talking $1980 here. Well, today, I couldn't even imagine what that would cost to have done. So the hospitals that used to operate without insurance companies, as a business, competing with the very same type of institution right across the street or maybe across town, many larger populated areas, they got 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 hospitals. They were in the business of care. And it was a direct pay system. So in other words, you went into the emergency to have an x-ray, you broke an arm, cracked your head open, whatever the case may be. They would come in, take a look at you, assess what they needed to do, they'd get you the treatment, and then they would send you down to accounts payable, receivable. If you didn't have the money to pay for the health care that you had received on that spot, what they would do is they would set up payment plans with you. This did several things. One of the things that it kept the cost down, because now you don't have the middleman, the insurance company. Years ago, I discovered that Blue Cross Blue Shield, over 70% of the money that this insurance company took in was for overhead, was for payroll, for their profit, and 30%, maybe even less, actually went back out the door paying for patient care and paying bills. So they screwed that up to the point that, well, geez, it's become so costly for healthcare in this country. I think we need an Affordable Care Act. And here again, this is affecting the way hospitals do business. So they're doing way more with way less. I mean, Vince, it's getting so bad right now. You know, the hospitals kill between 300,000 and 500,000 people a year by way of secondary infections. People getting sick, they're already screwed up. They're going to the hospital. Now, what happens is you pick up other diseases, viruses, bacteria in the hospital itself because it's not a clean environment. Well, guess what they're cutting back on? They're cutting back on hospital staff that actually cleans the hospitals. And who are they having doing this? Nurses. The people that were trained to do one thing, and they were very good at doing it, was that direct. They were there between that patient and that doctor to follow the doctor's orders, the regimen of treatment. You know, there was no screw up on prescriptions or did they get their IV or anything like this. These people are being relegated to doing the task that they weren't trained to do. Now think about this. They're dealing with waste, everything else. You have less hospital staff cleaning the hospital. So why is a nurse in there with the bacteria, viruses, and everything else, and they're going to be touching that patient or patients directly after that? The whole system has been blown apart because of economics and the way that they're doing business.
Well, let me put an exclamation point on that. There's an article in the Springfield News Leader. That's the newspaper, the dominant newspaper in Springfield, Missouri. Here's the headline. Former Mercy, that means Mercy Hospital, former Mercy nurse says that she was fired after reporting patient safety concerns. Yep. A former Mercy nurse in Springfield is suing the health system, alleging she was fired for reporting safety concerns relating to inadequate staffing and infection control. Exactly what you're talking about. Exactly what you're talking about. She was the charge nurse responsible for supervising chemotherapy nurses, staff, and others. And during her employment, she received excellent reviews and so forth. And what she reported was that she reported to her supervisors and other employees that she had concerns due to the low staffing levels and the lack of well-trained and experienced staff, and that the 7D, that's the area of the hospital, 7D oncology floor, was failing to provide safe and appropriate care to its patients. She observed that chemotherapy infusions were being started by nurses not qualified to provide that kind of care or at infusion rates in excess of established standards without a physician's order. She also observed other non-safe practices like using a person's mouth to remove the cap off a needle. Who would do that? Who would do that? Well, that's what this article talks about. She was fired.
And Vince, now here's ironies of all ironies. The more efficient and the more job-sharing duties that these hospital personnel do, the more efficient that this hospital is with doing more with way less. What the staffs at the hospital are actually doing is working toward the elimination of their job. So the efficiency goes up, the profit increases a little bit. So what do? They go in to maintain that profitability. They do more layoffs. It's a downward spiral. And we go back to economy and money. The way things are that are supposed to work. Look, this country is debt-ridden. From the top right on down, to the average household. We are massively in debt, which means there's less money to do things the way we used to do them. Hospitals, in your particular case, this is dealing with human life. More than that, this was dealing with your mother, which, folks, I know you've not met Mrs. Finelli, the original Mrs. Finelli, but if you could imagine Vince's mom, she is a wonderful little person. She is a small-statured woman, very sharp, very incisive. Just the kind of mother that you would want for a Vince Finelli. He's the product of his upbringing, and his mother is responsible. What is that worth? What is that emotional attachment worth? We'll break. We'll be right back.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half-off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
The following is an important holiday inventory announcement from IDStronghold.com.
As many of you have come to know, IDStronghold.com is the #1 name in quality RFID blocking wallets that actually do as they say and prevent electronic pickpocketing of the new RFID chips found in credit cards, room keys, subway passes, and more. Last year, due to the extreme popularity of giving ID Stronghold wallets and clutches as unique gifts at Christmas time, we ran out of our most popular styles and colors early. The good news is, we now have our holiday inventory ready for same-day shipping. We have added many more designs of beautiful leather wallets and clutches, all with state-of-the-art built-in electronic pickpocket shielding from the most respected name in RFID protection, IDStronghold.com. Don't wait and limit your choices of these great gifts. We are expecting another sellout season. These wallets aren't available in stores, so visit IDStronghold.com today. That's IDStronghold.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
John Stadtmiller is with us. John, I was in the emergency room with my mom, and my wife was there, and the doctor was there, and the nurse was there. This is the emergency room, treatment room. And the doctor said, okay, her blood pressure is really, really low, and it was really low. Nurse, start an IV drip. I'm ordering an IV drip. And the nurse left the room, doctor left the room. About 45 minutes later, somewhere around there, the nurse returns and opens the drawer right where she was standing. I thought that they were going someplace really far to get this IV drip, and she was in a hurry. The IV bag, everything she needed was right next to her, in the drawer, right where she was standing. Then she opens the drawer and hangs this drip. When time is precious, I don't know what's going on. They just aren't paying attention. But anyway, so then she starts the IV drip. This is what's going on in hospitals.
Well, and Vince, look, the reason I mentioned this human factor here, your love and loyalty to your mother, this is what children of the parents, we've always acted this way. This is something very near and dear to us. We don't want to lose them. And this is an emotional attachment, but these people that work in these hospitals, they're not robots and they're not automatons. And I can understand if people feel that they constantly, facing a layoff act, they're not going to be very happy about their jobs or loyal to their employers. And you can instruct the staff on how to smile and be empathetic, and that may not be very effective. You mentioned, the phraseology here, I care about, but don't you care about my mother? And the answer back was pretty much no. Well, if people are chronically overworked, exhausted, demoralized, it's hard enough to deal with the relentless needs of the sick if there's stable employment, appropriate hours, reasonable workload. Without the latter, the worry that the staff will become less caring and attentive simply because their brains cannot produce empathy and attentiveness when faced with the stresses many experiences in the healthcare workforce today. Now, and if this is true, which I believe that it is, and it's just not your experience at Mercy Hospital, this is going on all across the country. This is why I'm doing the show with you today, because I got to thinking about this. How systemic is this problem? What is actually going on here? Well, we're talking about it today, and I applaud you for doing the show, because when you first started talking to me about this, you told me the story about your mom, and I'm thinking, geez, this is tragic. She could have died. Well, I'm always going to the root causes. There's always cause and effect. There's always a reason why. And I kept digging on this, and this is when I come across the information about the cash flows, the Affordable Care Act. They're claiming that as of January 1, Vince, there's going to be 30 more million people on Obamacare going to these very same hospitals that have reduced staff and reduced effectiveness. So this is only going to be getting worse into the future. Now, the one thing that I hold Mercy Hospital account for is their inability to tell you the honest-to-God's truth. And they did not do that.
Well, that's absolutely correct. And even during this broadcast, at the top of the hour, I called Lacy Phillips. I put her phone number. She's the nurse manager of this particular floor. I explained to her all these things that I found wrong with what they did at Mercy, in my opinion. And I called her probably the 7th time today, and I've invited her to be on this broadcast with us for 2 hours to say whatever she wanted to say, not just, me chastising the hospital and then having her come on, say something, and then hitting the mute button and turning her off. I've invited her on for 2 hours. I've called the top management's office of the hospital. Not only will they not come on the air, they won't even return a single phone call. Not one phone call I've made over the last week have they returned. Well, and I'm talking...
And this woman that you're talking about, that you... And look, folks, in the listening audience out there right now, you got to understand one thing. Vince Finelli could be a little hard butt, but he's also the most compassionate person I've ever met. So when you take this in consideration, you're not going, as much as you want this situation resolved, not just for yourself and your mom, but for everybody else, they're not going to come on the air and admit their shortcomings. They're not going to admit it to you or me. They might admit it to themselves within an institution, but that's about as far as it's going to go. And if they did come on the air, chances are they'd lose their job.
I agree with that. We'll be right back.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
A revolution in body protection has arrived only at FortressSurvivalLLC.com. Introducing the revolutionary patented Level 3 Bulletproof Vest. 100% Kevlar, 100% American-made. Concealable, fully adjustable, and the lowest price on the market. Adult size normally $289.99, now just $250. Kid size normally $239.99, now just $200. Get affordable protection with a Level 3A Bulletproof Vest from FortressSurvivalLLC.com. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3.
Do you have relatives and friends that are convinced there is no need ever to prepare for any kind of emergency? Are these also folks you buy Christmas presents for? At 30dayfoodsupply.com, we can solve both of these problems at the same time. Go to 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. We can ship your Christmas presents directly to them. Choose from our original $99 30-day food supply, our long-term storage vegan burger mixes, and other oatmeal, soups, porridges, beans, and granolas for everyday use. All products are non-GMO, MSG-free, and vegetarian. Most are gluten, soy, and nut-free. Call 541-229-0010 today. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low, cutting out the middleman by buying directly from their producers in Oregon. Remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com. Call 541-229-0010. 30dayfoodsupply.com. 541-229-0010.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Class, we're talking about carelessness and not paying attention. And I mentioned this News Leader article, Springfield News Leader, and there's a post on the website, usaprepares.com, page 1. And this article says, for example, plaintiff, and this is the woman, Ms. Schultz, who was fired by Mercy Hospital. It says, plaintiff, that would be her, observed an employee removing needle caps with her teeth before using the same needles to inject medication into central lines. Yeah. Now, seriously, I mean, we're talking about alleged hospital professionals removing needle caps with their teeth. Central line, that's the main site. That's the main place where medications go right into the bloodstream.
They call those IV pushes, and they go directly, you're absolutely right, they go between the bag and that needle in the patient's arm or wherever they placed it, and that's a direct injection right into the bloodstream of the body.
Right. Now, I remember saying you see these hospital floors where they have the nurses station. They have lots of computers, and they've got a whole bunch of people, sitting in these chairs monitoring the telemetry of, the heart rate and so forth, and the alarms, and they're seeing who needs assistance. And when you push that button on your bed to call for the nurse, that's where it gets answered. There's nobody there. Many, many times there's nobody there. And I said, "Where's everybody?" I said to one of the nurses, "Where is everybody?" And the answer was, "Well, we're short-staffed today. We're short-staffed today, but where is everybody?" "Well, we've called the employees to report to work, but they don't show up. They don't show up." Well, that's easy to fix. You fire them. Okay? If they don't show up for work, you fire them. Another thing that this hospital does, and this is not the only hospital that does it, they have employees work 12-hour shifts. That's a pretty long day. So if you're answering alarms and going from emergency to emergency to emergency, 12 hours is a really long day. And mistakes get made. My mom they put her in put a catheter in her so that she could pee without wetting the bed, okay, because she was very confused, because she had what was called a urinary tract infection, E. coli. It was really serious. It was in her blood. She was extremely confused. So they gave her a catheter, and we had to instruct her that, if you have to pee, you just pee. And so we told her all about that, and that worked fine. Then they took the catheter out, and they sat her up in a chair for 7 hours, and she sat on a blanket in pee for 7 hours.
Well,
neglected.
And I'm thinking about what you related here, that the IV was actually in the bedstand. 45 minutes later, the nurse comes back in, pulls the IV out of the bedstand. Yeah. But how many distractions and how many different ways was she pulled once she left that hospital room, and then she finally returned? How many more things was she asked to do? What else was she tasked with? Let me tell you a quick little story here that might bring this into a little closer focus. I mentioned Vanderbilt. That's University Medical Center in Tennessee. Well, they're eliminating 1,000 jobs over the next year. They've already done cuts. And it's apparently cutting cleaning staff. Now, Vanderbilt will be asking, as I said before, nurses to clean floors, empty waste baskets, do other housekeeping chores. And somebody that noticed what was going on here went to a physician by the name of Michael Gardam. He's the head of infection prevention and control at University Health Network in Toronto, Ontario. And he said this approach ignores the facts that housekeeping chores are actually very complicated, and they got to be done by a specially trained staff. A lot of people didn't know that. You just can't clean a floor correctly because you're a nurse or a woman, he pointed out. He worried about the possibility of cross-contamination, which I mentioned earlier. If nurses mopped the floor and then turned around and engaged in patient care activities, Are they going to change their scrubs after they've mopped up? If you're going to do this, you'd have to institute a very specific protocol to protect patients. And would that be cost effective? Here again, we go cost versus profit. Well, it's a short-sighted approach, this doctor said. And cleaning a hospital, it's complicated. You have to know about the chemicals and how they're used. Some chemicals have to be put on longer than others. Some have to be put on applied hot, others cold. You have to know how to do terminal cleaning. You just can't ask nurses to do environmental management and think everything's going to work out well. And what they're doing is they're overloading the nurses and keeping them away from important patient activities and overloading them with activities which will divert their attention and could lead to mistakes. This is short-sighted. It's just not short-sighted, Vince. It's stupid. But this is what they're doing.
Tell you what else they're doing, John. They have these positions called PCA. I believe it stands for Patient Care Associate.
Associates, yeah, PCA.
And these are young people. These are people who are in the community college. They haven't graduated yet. These are high school graduates. And these are young people who believe that the medical profession is what it was in the 1960s. And they are learning. They are learning how to help patients. However, they don't seem to have the same amount of training that the nurse would have. So and these are the people who are taking the vital signs. These are the people who are going from patient to patient to patient with the oxygen saturation meters. And this whole floor had only 3 of them. I wanted to know why it took so long to check my mom's oxygen level. And it's simple. All they do is they put this little thing. It's like the equivalent of a clothesline clip that you would hang clothes on. It just goes over your finger. Just clips on, and it's self-contained. There's no wires, and it has a display right on it. I bought one on the internet for about $10. They said that they only had 3 for the entire floor, and they don't know where they all are. So they have to find them. They have to find them in order to check the oxygen saturation. Now, that's one of the quickest things they can do to determine a person's health. That and the stethoscope, right? Those are 2 things that they can use to quickly determine a patient's health. And they have 3 of these units, and they can't find them. So what I'm saying is the hospitals seem to be so short on funds for some reason, and it has nothing to do with the amount they charge, because they're certainly charging us a lot. But they don't have these inexpensive devices in insufficient quantities. I want to know why every professional in the hospital doesn't have one. That makes no sense.
Vince, better than 30 years ago, when I went through my knee stuff, first I had a meniscus that had to be cleaned up in the knee. Well, there were different ways of doing that procedure. And one of the ways that they discovered, they blow the knee up, the knee literally up under the skin with salt water. And then they go in with a drill type of device, and they can clean up cartilage in a knee. Well, that was the newer technology. The guy that I went to, I never forget the guy's name. His name is Dr. Charnley. He did it the old school way. He opened the entire knee to go into the joint to clean out this meniscus tendon inside the knee joint. And anytime that you open up a knee like that, you're going to invite all sorts of other problems, arthritic conditions, so on and so forth. Well, that was the first operation. The second one, I actually blew out an anterior cruciate ligament, and these are pretty tough things. It takes about 5,000 psi, and you got to stretch it about 4 or 5 inches to snap it. So it's a pretty traumatic thing. Well, the recovery rate, old versus new, was astronomical. The old way of doing it, you might be out of commission maybe 2-3 months. The new way, hey, 3-4 weeks you're back ambulatory, 4-6 weeks you're absolutely normal and you're on your way. And I started looking at patient care and what these hospitals were doing and the amount of money that they were laying out for their high-tech machinery, like MRIs, the magnetic resonance imaging machines, which are way, way, way better than the old style x-rays or whatever. It gives you a lot of information. Well, these damn things cost millions of dollars in every hospital to maintain a competitive edge against the other business or hospital across town. They would go out and buy one. Well, I suggested that, this could be done. You could reduce costs at your hospitals. You can have centers that have these MRI machines and all the other fancy equipment. And you could get this thing done by scheduling patients in, bring them in from a hospital, boom. You get in there, you get the job done, you get that patient back, if they're movable, okay? So this was a way to share the expense. And all these hospitals could use this very same center. The more I talked to doctors, the more they went, that's not a bad idea. We're backlogged here at the hospital, and, these things are so expensive, and they do break down. And again, it was cost versus profitability. Where do you think these guys are at right now? We're told, Vince, unemployment rate's down to about 5%. Well, hell, the recession's over, right? I can go back to work. I'm seeing things because I'm not seeing strip malls shuttered. I'm not seeing 30% or more of the population out of work. Look, nothing is being presented in a truthful manner. Nobody is leveling with the American people. Nobody is telling the truth that are in position to be able to do so. And Vince, how the hell do you ever fix a problem if you don't properly diagnose the problem? If you go to a hospital and you're misdiagnosed, that treatment that they provide you, is it going to work? No, I don't think so. So if we're going to fix a problem within the medical industry in this country, how can we ever fix the problem where we're not dealing with factual information? How?
Well, in my training, I was told that you can't. I mean, if you don't know the problem, it's impossible to solve it. And and by the way, that's one of the reasons why you do what you do and we do what we do here. And all of us in alternative radio are passionate, at least all the people I know, about the information that we're presenting, because we believe that the other team is covering up and not presenting. John, I once interviewed a pretty famous guy on radio, one of the top 25 broadcasters. He's an overnight guy. And I asked him, and this was when I first started broadcasting. He was in the studio with me in Springfield, Missouri.
I can remember that.
I asked him, do they tell you what to say and what not to say? And the quote was really simple. Absolutely not. I know where the line is and I don't cross it. So the media, the mainstream media, according to what I've learned, is sanitized. So we're not going to learn it. We're not going to learn it from those guys. So let's turn them off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Does being over 40 make you feel like half the man you used to be? Do you feel more tired, out of shape, not in the mood like you used to be? Thanks to an exclusive formula, you can help boost testosterone levels safely and naturally. Introducing Ageless Male, a life-changing supplement for men tested to help increase testosterone levels.
You'll notice a boost in your energy levels. Workouts work, sex life improves. It's like a light switch goes on.
Try Ageless Male risk-free if you would like to experience what taking Ageless Male can feel like. Support for healthy, normal testosterone levels, healthy energy, and increased performance, and more romance when you want it.
Call 1-800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Class John Stadtmiller's here, and if you'd like to listen to his broadcast, he's from 4 to 6 in the afternoons, Central Time, on Republic Broadcasting Network, and that's republicbroadcasting.org.
Let me jump in here. Yeah, republicbroadcasting.org. We got 27 hosts on the network. We cover a range of subjects. I was going to do another show today. But are you available this afternoon? Can you come on my program?
Sure.
Good, because
have I ever said no?
Not that I remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. What were we talking about? No, I'm just teasing. No.
Sure, I'll be glad to be on.
Well, and I
I'll
appreciate
connect
that. And we've got your information there, or we'll make contact. Look, what we're talking about here is really economy and money. And what these hospitals... Yeah, let me give you a quick example. Over 10 years ago, I learned of a group of doctors that got fed up with the healthcare industry. Why? Because of the hospital payments, hassles with insurance, hospitals were billing too much. They weren't being effective at what they were being trained to do. So what they did, and we're talking surgeons, anesthesiologists, nurses, doctors, specialists, podiatrists, optometrists, whatever. They all decided to group together, build their own facility, and knock out the middleman, knock out the insurance companies. Basically what they did was they knocked out the major expenses and the impediment to direct health care to the patient. It's called the Oklahoma City Surgery Center. That ACL replacement that I had done over 35 years ago at a cost of $30,000 through Blue Cross Blue Shield, guess what? They do that very same procedure at the Oklahoma City Surgery Center in today's dollars, Vin? You want to take a guess?
I would say 1/2 to 1/3.
10%. They'll do an ACL replacement, barring any over-the-top complications, for around $3,000. It's cash and carry. They don't take cards. They take cash.
Well, I tried to get an appointment with my mom's doctor, and it's also our son's doctor, and we've got one, and it's about 15 days since her discharge, and we're going to try to get one sooner. But I've called my mom's doctor, who's my doctor, who's our son's doctor, and I've said we have a fever of 103, and we're really in trouble, and we'd like to see the doctor. Go to the emergency room, really, or go to the urgent care. We don't want to do that. We don't want to see somebody new. We want to see our doctor. And John, here's what I want to share. This when we were about ready to get my mom discharged from the hospital, I decided that I need to spend some time with the nurse manager and explain what I saw that they needed to fix. So I went into her office with her, and for a half an hour, literally a half hour, I described what I saw and what I thought they needed to consider doing to fix it. And I even talked about management styles. And she's a nurse manager, and I said, have you ever heard of MBWA? And she looked at me, and I said, well, the General Electric Management Style. It's called MBWA. It's called Management by Walking Around. Management by walking around, or managing by walking around. And what that means is you just walk around and you look at what's happening. And you have your notebook with you, or this little pad, and you write down, the shopping list for tonight. Asparagus, peaches, pasta, whatever's on your shopping list for tonight. It doesn't matter. You just need to be walking around, observing, and then you can also write your shopping list for groceries on the way home. And as you do that, the people around you say, oh, no, I can't believe it. She saw it. Oh, she knows. She knows what I did wrong. I better not do that again. And they pay more attention. And it's trickery, yes, but it absolutely positively works. We talked about that. We talked about how to fix things. We talked about even things like, how come they've got food dye and sugar in the drinks that they give the patients in the hospital who are trying to get well? Why do they do that? They don't have to do that. They can have better drinks than that, but nope. They serve drinks with red dye number 40.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's continue this conversation on my show, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Time over at Republic Broadcasting Network.
I'll be there. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll post it on Facebook that I'll be there with you. John Stadtmiller, thank you so much for being with me today to discuss this very, very serious topic.
Thank you for being there.
Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.